What's up, guys? Scott Schumacher here, and welcome back to the Prop Zone. Today is going to be a great day. As you can see, the sky is blue. We are heading to Killeen Skylark Airport to my flight school, which is Central Texas College. It's a 141 flight school where I'm finishing up my commercial rating right now, finishing up my commercial training. I got my commercial check ride happening here in about 2 weeks. Today's video is going to be about pre-flighting the airplane that I'm currently flying. It is a PA-28201R, which is a 2018 Piper Arrow. Retractable landing gear, constant speed prop, all that fun stuff. We're gonna get over here and, you know, we're gonna get this guy pre-flighted. I'm gonna be going up with my instructor, Killian. We're gonna be going up doing some commercial maneuvers, just getting squared away and sharpened up for the check ride. So as soon as we get to the hangar, I'll see you guys inside, and we'll show you guys what the pre-flight on the Piper Arrow looks like.
Oh, good to know.
Good to know. What are you doing, Han?
I'm doing pre-flight.
Doing pre-flight.
I have a straw.
He's got a straw.
And this one, and you can drink it.
Ooh.
Ooh, tastes like a fuel.
I don't recommend it, but it probably tastes pretty bad.
Tastes like a fuel.
Tastes like a fuel.
Ooh, I like it.
So Han is going from Killeen to Junction today in 333.
And I have a little kiss over here.
Oh, yes. Oh, oh. What happened?
Oh.
What? It's supposed to make a noise, right?
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We might have an issue.
My 483 doesn't like my kiss.
It doesn't like your kiss. Maybe hold this. Let me try. Let me try. Let's see here. Let's see what happened. Nope, it doesn't like mine either.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maintenance.
Switching airplane?
Switching airplanes, maybe? Might be a good idea. We kind of need this. If you guys don't know, it's the stall warning horn. Or actually, yeah, it's connected to the stall warning horn.
It makes sounds like...
It makes the sound of our people. All right, guys. Today we are flying a PA-28201R Piper Arrow. It's a 2018. We're gonna be going up today and finishing up some commercial maneuvers. I am currently at Central Texas College at the flight department here. We are a 141 college or a 141 flight operation in Killeen, Texas at Killeen Skylark Airfield. And inside the Arrow, we have a beautiful G500 suite. Couple touchscreen Garmin's, very nice panel here. And currently right now I'm going to start pre-flighting, and we're waiting on Killian, my CFI, to get here so we can go ahead and get started and go up. So right now I'm going to go ahead and take you guys through the pre-flight of this Piper Arrow, and we'll get ready to go. Okay guys, we're going to go ahead and start the pre-flight checklist, which begins in the cockpit. So first things first, control wheel, release restraints. As you can see, we have no restraints on the control wheel, so that is a check. And let's see here, gear handle down. Here is the gear handle. Currently, as you guys can see, it is in the down position. If it was in the up position, we have to pull out, push up, and then it'll be in the up. But right now it's in the down position, so that's good. And let's see what we got here. So parking brake is set. This guy right here, we just pull back, push this little button, and it sets the parking brake. So we're good there. Avionics are off. There's our avionics switch. It's in the off position. We're good to go. Let's see here. All switches off. Pretty much what we're looking for is all electrical switches are off. Our fresh air fan here is in the off position. Fin strobe is in the off position. All of our other switches here are off. Radio's off. So all switches are off. All switches are checked off. Let's see here. All right, we are looking for mixture idle cut. So the mixture knob is all the way back to the idle cut position. And let's see what else we got here. Magneto switch is off. The key is out. Magnetos are off. Battery master switch is coming on. This is the battery master switch right here. We're gonna go ahead and flip it on. As you can see, we got some lights coming on here. Standby instruments are popping up. Let's get this door open because it is hot and we want some airflow. Okay, pretty much what we're looking for here when I do the battery master switch, it also wants us to check the fuel, the annunciator panel, and the lights. So while we have the battery master switch on, we're also going to turn on our landing lights, our nav lights, recog. We're going to turn on our strobe and our pitot heat. And as you can see with the nav lights on, that turns off our 3 green on our landing gear. When we flip those off, they come back on. So we do need to note that those are working, but I am going to turn this back on. These will come off so I can check the nav lights outside. We're gonna look at our fuel here, and it looks like our fullest tank currently is gonna be our left tank. We'll verify that outside. Currently right now, left tank's showing about 20, right tank's showing about 15. So what we're gonna do with that information is go down here to the fuel knob and make sure that we are indeed on the left tank, which we are, so we're good to go there. So now we're gonna hop out while we have the battery master switch on, and we are gonna start checking lights here. So as you can see, strobe's working, nav light's working green, we got white in the back, that's good. Recog light right here is working, moving our way around. We're gonna check our landing light, should be on. Landing light is on and working, so we're good there. Moving on around here. We're gonna check the battery master's on, so we're gonna check the stall indicator. And you probably can't hear that, but as I lift up on this, you can probably hear it inside. You can hear that, that's the stall indicator right there. We're gonna come up under here since we turned the pitot heat on. This is the pitot heat, or this is the pitot tube right here. We're gonna feel it, it's hot, so we know we have pitot heat. And then coming around here, checking recog lights on, red nav lights on, strobes on, white light in the back is good. And then we have the fin strobe on the back here. So everything looks good to go there for our cockpit checklist. Let's go ahead and go on in here and find out what else we need to do, and we will go from there. Okay guys, now that we got that done, what it's calling for is battery master switch off. So what we're gonna do is turn the pitot heat off, turn our strobe off, recog, nav lights, landing lights. All that's gonna come off now. As you can see, our 3 green comes back on because our nav lights are off. And battery master switch is now coming off since we've checked everything. Everything's gonna shut down. We're gonna move on with the checklist. So battery master's off. Flaps, we're gonna go ahead. This is our flap handle right here, flap levers. We're gonna pull these up all the way to our 40-degree position, all the way up. As you can see, a little bit hard to see. I'll show you guys when we get outside. The flaps are currently down. So trim, we want to make sure the trim is neutral. As you can see right here, that's the neutral mark. That's about where we like to keep it. So the trim is what I would consider neutral. Pitot static system drain. Our pitot static system drain is right here below the pilot seat to the left. And what we do before each flight is we are going to push both of those in, which is going to drain any excess water from the pitot static system if there's any in there. Okay, so once we have drained the pitot static system, we're moving on to required papers and POH. So we do have our POH right there, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to see, but we do have our registration airworthiness certificate down here, as well as all of our supplemental stuff for our G500 and our 650s in the back seats here. So we do currently have all the required in papers and POH on board, tow bar and baggage. So this is where we're going to move outside now. Let me go ahead and grab my fuel strainer. So once the flaps are fully extended, we have to be careful because it says warning, flap step unsafe. So we're going to step over down here and grab our fuel tester. Boom. And like I said, tow bar and baggage stowed and secured. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the baggage door here. It says push. We're going to push and that's going to open up. We're going to look inside and make sure that if we have any baggage, it's stowed. Our tow bar is stowed. Our straps are good. Nothing's going to fly out and hit us, so we're good there. Now we're going to go ahead and close this guy. Just push in slowly and push until it pops, and we're good to go there. So baggage door closed and secured, baggage door, we're good. Moving on to the next page. Right wing surface condition, clear of ice, frost, and snow. Well, it's Texas, it's summer, we probably don't have to worry about that, so it looks good. Flaps check. So what we're doing is we're checking the linkage here, making sure the linkage is good on the flaps and it's nice and tight. It's got some movement there. I'm gonna grab under here on the flaps. I'm gonna move it up, make sure that there's nothing loose. Everything looks good. Static wick is good to go there. So moving on to the next thing. Let's see here. I'm gonna hold that in my hand. So next step on the list is aileron. Check for freedom of movement. Okay, so check for freedom of movement for the aileron. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slowly pull it up As you can see, it's up, and we're gonna slowly push it down. We're gonna check to make sure we have our static wicks. There's one right there and one right there. And I'm gonna come up underneath here, and we're gonna check our bolts. Kind of hard to see there, I do apologize. But you can see those all look good right there. Here's our link for our aileron, same thing. Twist it a little bit, make sure it's not, you know, broken or anything, looking for any cracks or anything like that. Make sure the nut's on there, and we're working our way down to the final section of the nuts and bolts that hold the aileron to the wing, which looks good. So from this point, we are now, let's see here, static wicks, check secure, we did that. Wing tips and lights, we checked those. Fuel tank, check visually and secure cap. So we're moving around here, and we are now checking that we have fuel. I can, kind of hard to see for you guys down in there, but we do have fuel. We're slightly under tabs there, so that does check out with what the fuel indicator was saying inside the cockpit. All right, let's see here. So fuel tank, check visually, secure cap, cap secured. Fuel tank vent is clear. We have a vent under here that vents the fuel as we use the fuel. If we don't have this little vent right here, and I'm gonna stick this up in here, make sure it's nice and clear. If we didn't have that vent there as the fuel is utilized, it's gonna create a vacuum and cause us some issues if that vent was not there. So fuel tank sump, there's a sump under here. This little guy right here, it's got a little hole in it. What we're doing is we're using this little tip of our fuel strainer, and we're gonna go up in here, and what's gonna happen is you're gonna see fuel come out and fill up the strainer. And what we are looking for is dirt, debris, or any kind of water that would be separating. And it looks like we're pretty good here. It doesn't look like there's any water, debris, or fuel. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna throw that out. 100 low lead evaporates very fast, so it's no problem to go ahead and do that. All right, so we went ahead and checked that. Let's see what's next on the list here. So tie down and chock. We're not tied down and we're not chocked right now, so that's good. Main gear check, brake block and disc, and fresh air inlet. So we're gonna come under here and we're gonna check the main gear. Pretty much what we're looking for is making sure that we don't have any hydraulic fluid leak, indicating that we might have an issue with the hydraulic system. I'm pretty much looking at the overall integrity of the main gear, no cracks, no obvious damage, no loose bolts or nuts. Just checking the electrical connections and stuff like that. Moving my way down here, I'm checking the brake pads and the brake rotor to make sure everything there looks good. Also checking the visually checking the integrity of the tire. It looks good. It doesn't look like it's flat. It doesn't look like it needs any air. So main gear looks good. Everything there looks good. Fresh air inlet is right here. We're just gonna make sure nothing's blocked and everything looks good there. And then we will move on to the nose section. All right, we are moving on to the nose section of our Piper Aero. So the nose section checklist, general condition, check. Okay, well, general condition, you know, this is a very new airplane. As I walk around and look here, you know, nothing seems out of the ordinary, nothing looks abnormal, so the general condition actually looks pretty good. We're gonna move on. Is the cowling secure? Well, the cowling, we're gonna make sure all these guys here are secure. We're gonna make sure that, you know, nothing is loose, nothing's coming off, everything feels nice and tight. Walking our way around, same thing, everything feels nice and tight, nothing feels loose, which means the cowling is, let's go here, cowling is secure. Oil quantity, check quantity, minimum 4 quarts. So what we're gonna do is open up this guy right here. This is our oil dipstick that's gonna tell us the quantity of oil that we currently have in the motor, in the engine, and we are right at about 5.5 quarts. A little bit difficult to see there, but you can see the number 6 and there is 4. So actually we're about a little bit under 5 quarts there, which is good because we need a minimum of 4. So this guy is gonna go back in. We're gonna secure this. And let's move on to the checklist. And let's see here. Okay, oil check quantity. We did check the quantity, that's good. And the next one is engine baffles and seals. You can't see it, but underneath here, I reach my hand in here. It's got these engine baffles and seals in here that help direct airflow to the engine where it needs to go. So those are in there, I see those. This is secured and tight, and this is now secured and tight, so we can move on to the next one, which is our propeller and spinner. So what we're looking for here is any obvious damage to the propeller or the spinner, that it's nice and secure, nothing's falling off. We're checking for cracks, checking for anything out of the ordinary that would cause us to, not want to go on this flight if anything was wrong with this prop. So what I like to do is just kind of like check it out, give it a nice Nice go over, everything looks good. And then from there, let's see what we got here. Okay, prop and spinner check, air inlets are clear. It's one of our air inlets right there. It's clear, there's nothing in there. So that's good. And then there's no bird nest, there's nothing blocking up in here, so that's good. Alternator belt, check tension. This is the alternator belt right here, probably hard to see. Let me see if I can get a better angle for you guys. It's this belt right here, looks good, feels good, tension feels good. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Landing light check, we checked that at the beginning. So that's the next one, was the landing light check. Chalk, remove. We're not chalked right now, so we're good there. Nose wheel check, checking the integrity of the nose wheel. Same thing as the main, looking for any obvious, you know, stress fractures, anything like that that could be potential, you know, cause for anything, any problems later on down the road. Everything looks good. The tire looks in good shape. We got some good tread. I don't see any leaks or anything. I don't see any damaged components as far as the retractable landing gear is concerned, so everything looks good to go there. Okay, moving on. Fuel strainer drain. We have one more fuel strainer on the nose. Always gonna watch our head as we go up here so we're not knocking it on the propeller. There's one more fuel strainer right here. So pretty much the same exact thing. I'm going to hold this, and it's gonna be a little bit difficult to show you guys, but what I'm doing is, let me see if I can do this. I'm gonna hold the camera with my mouth here. We're gonna push here, and then the fuel is gonna come out, and it's gonna fill this thing, just like that. Fuel comes out of there, we fill this up. We're checking the same thing, dirt, debris, water separation in there, making sure there's no water in the fuel. Everything looks good. We're gonna go ahead and empty that and move on to the right wing, or excuse me, the left wing. Okay, so left wing, fuel tank, check visually, secure cap. And we have fuel. We are checked visually, and we will secure the cap. Fuel tank vent is clear. Same thing. We have one more vent under here, just like the other side. I'm going to poke this guy up in here, make sure it's clear. That's good. Fuel tank sump, we're going to drain. Same exact thing. This little guy right here, we're going in, checking the fuel for the left wing. No dirt, no debris, no water separation. We're good there. All right. Let's see here. Let's see here. Main gear check, brake block and disc, and tie down chalk remove. We're not chalked or tied down, so we're good there. So we're checking the main gear. Same thing as the other side, looking for anything obvious, hydraulic leaks, anything that could point to a problem in the future. I got a little bit of dirt in here. That's to be expected. Nothing crazy. Everything looks good. All the electrical connections look good. Tire itself is in good shape. A little bit low, but it's okay. Brake, disc, and pads look good. I don't see no obvious leaks. Everything looks fine there. Oh, all right. Let's see here. Fresh air inlet. Same thing as the other side. Fresh air inlet's clear. Pitot mast, remove cover and check. We checked that already. Covers removed. We checked to make sure that it was working. Wing tips and lights, we checked that at the beginning. Aileron check for freedom and movement. Flaps and static wicks. So starting with the aileron here, up, down, and then same thing, back up. We're gonna check underneath here, make sure everything looks good on those bolts. Here's the aileron linkage right here, just like, oh, dripping gas on myself, just like the other side. Making sure that it's got movement, making sure that it's not cracked, broken, the nuts on there nice and tight, we're good. Working our way down here, we have the final set of nuts and bolts that are holding the aileron onto the wing, which is good, looks good. And starting here, we got three, let's see here, 3 static wicks. So 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and grab the checklist as we're moving down. The next thing that we're looking at is the flaps that we need to check. So same thing over here. I'm gonna get out of the way of the sun so you guys can see. This is the linkage that controls the flaps. A little bit of movement. You know, nothing cracked, nothing damaged, bolts tight, the nut is tight, so it's good to go there. I'm gonna lift up a little bit just to make sure, you know, we got some tension there. That's good, and everything looks good there. So it looks like we are good to move on to the fuselage. Antennas is the next one. Let's see if we can see that there. Antennas, so we're gonna check. So we got 2 up there, we got 1 here, we got 1 here, and we got 1 underneath here, and they all look like they are there and stable. So now we're moving on to the left static vent. Sorry about that. Left static vent is the next one. We want to make sure that guy is clear, and that is right here, and it looks clear. Okay, and fresh air inlet is clear. This is the fresh air inlet right here. As we can see, it's nice and clear. And moving on to the empennage clear of ice, frost, and snow. Let's see if we can see that right there. Empennage clear of ice, frost, and snow. That's gonna be pretty much this guy right here. And like I said, middle of summer in Texas, probably not gonna have to worry about that. Rudder check. Generally, you know, like on a 152 over there, the rudder is gonna be moving free. On the Arrow, it's not. So as you can see right here, it says do not push. So pretty much what we're doing is we're just giving it a little wiggle just to make sure it's got some tension. Checking the static wicks here, we got 3 on the back, 1, 2, 3, and then of course the antenna on top of the fin here. And then we did check the fin light earlier to make sure that worked. So that lets us move on to stabilator and trim tab check. So this is our stabilator and trim tab. So what we can do, this does move. We can move this up and down and make sure it's got freedom of movement and it goes all the way. As you can see, the trim tab is moving as well as we move up and down. So that is a check and we're good to go there. And tie down remove. If we had a tie down in the back, we would remove that, but we do not. Right static vent coming over here to finish up. Right static vent is clear, so we're good to go there. There's one more antenna here on the back, making sure that it is secured. And let's move on. That is it. So after the right static vent, we are now done with the pre-flight checklist, and we are able to put our stuff in and move on with the flight. All right, guys, so that is it for today. I am heading back down to Austin, and I hope you enjoyed this video of me pre-flighting this Piper Arrow. The next video, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of flight time and stuff like that. We're going to go up and do some maneuvers and show you kind of how everything works with the Piper Arrow. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope this video has brought you value. If you guys haven't done so already, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm and consider subscribing to the channel. I will be posting more aviation videos concerning the end of my commercial pilot training in the Piper Arrow, as well as my check ride prep and stuff like that, moving into my flight instructor training after that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace out.